Hey everyone, my name is Eric. Welcome to my channel Redwood North Trading. I primarily trade options and I sell options. I pretty much never buy options. Before I get started, let me just say I'm not a licensed professional, a trader, a licensed investment banker, anything like that, financial advisor. I'm not a professional licensed investor of any way, shape, or form. I'm just some random dude on the internet and on YouTube. If you take my advice, you can and will lose money. I make no guarantees. Remember, I'm just some random dude. For all you know, I'm a big idiot and I've lost all my money 10 times over. Trade at your own risk. So here we go. I use Tastyworks for options trading. I do dabble in some just normal stock trading every now and then when I see a good opportunity, but primarily trade options and I sell options. Tastyworks is great. Love the interface. It takes a little bit getting used to if you're coming from like Thinkorswim from TD Ameritrade. That's a really popular one. So if you're coming from that, it's going to take you a little bit to get used to it, but once you do, it's great. It's so much better in my opinion. Nice modern interface, really easy to use. Their mobile app, it's okay, but I feel like all trading mobile apps kind of suck. So there's Tastyworks is kind of the same. All right, so let's get started. When you launch Tastyworks, you start here on the position tab. It's kind of like your home screen, and you'll see all of your open positions, right? If you don't see anything, make sure this options button is clicked here, and that'll show up. Going to try to keep these videos short. I guess over time, if people have questions, I can maybe dabble in other topics. But for now, I'm just going to walk you through my videos of how I do my trades. And I just want to help people make money that's essentially passive. I've been doing this for a while now, and I started real small. It takes $2,000 to open an account with Tastyworks. Actually, I don't know if that's true, but if you do $2,000, you get a bonus of like free stocks. I started there real small, real conservative, and I was making, $300 a month off of $2,000. And then I upped my money a little bit more, and I was still making the same kind of percentage. Long story short, I've been making about 10 to 12% per month. And, depending on your bankroll, that's going to be a few $100s up to a few $1,000s. So it all just depends on your bankroll is really what it comes down to. But 10 or 12% a month, you're going to double your money every year. Every 12 months, you're going to double your money. Once you learn this system, it takes almost no time. It takes, 5, 10, 15 minutes per day. Even if it took you an hour per day, say there's 20 trading days a month, 20 hours a month, to make 12%, it's like super easy. These trades take about 2 to 3 weeks for each one, sometimes longer, sometimes shorter. Let's just call it 3 weeks. You'll see a lot of people on YouTube or on the internet, they're selling all these courses and then they charge for their trade alerts. And I don't know, I guess I just have this altruistic vision of helping people make some money. And depending how far you take this, you potentially could make this your living doing this. And it's so easy, and you could free up your time to do whatever you want, spend time with your family or to travel or whatever. And at a minimum, you're going to make some extra pocket change to just have some spending money on whatever you want. Save it, spend it, do whatever. So here we go. If you want to start a trade, I'm going to open a trade here with PFE, which is Pfizer. You'll eventually have a watch list. I have a couple. I almost always go to this low BP effect list. I really like that because you can get like 20% return on your capital or your return on investment, where, you can trade whatever you want, but sometimes you take a lot of capital and then you're only getting like a 3% return on capital. So I pretty much stick with these low buying power effect all the time. I do dabble in some other ones that are more expensive. The low buying power, I consider anything about $1,000 or under. Some of these get way down there, like only 300 or 400, which is awesome. I've already scoped things out ahead of time. I'm going to go here to Pfizer, PFE. So you just click over there. And then you go to the trade tab right here. And this system, I'll probably slip up and say my system, but this is just a system that lots of people use to sell options. Again, I almost never buy options. I probably will never buy options because in my opinion, it's just gambling. You have to be right on the direction and you have to be right in the certain amount of time. This system, you look for 30 to 60 days for your expiration date, which is right here in the middle. So right now, and you stay away from the weeklies, these W's you don't want to trade. You want to trade the 30 to 60 day window. And in theory, the 45-day window is kind of like the ideal window. So right now we're at 42. That's real good. You're like right there at the sweet spot. So you click on that and it opens up the option chain here. And the vast majority of my trades are strangles, which is a range, which is nice because then you pick a low strike price and you pick a high strike price and you just hope that the stock price stays in between your low and your high strike price. And if it does, eventually you get paid. So Tastyworks makes it really easy to pick your strategy up here. And when you sell, it's shorting the option, where if you're going to buy, it'd be long. So strangle is the second one here. So you want a short strangle and you click go and it automatically puts in a high strike and a low strike, which I will never understand this, why the higher prices go down and the lower prices go up. To me, that's backwards, but whatever, that's how it is. So you get the 36, 38 is what it just throws at you right off the bat. I come down here and use these arrows, these control arrows, and you want to widen the width. I guess before we go that far, you're going to need to add or change this column to delta, right? So when you change this one, it also changes this one on the right and on the left. So you want to get the delta, and what we're looking for here, this strategy uses the 15 to 30 delta on both sides as a rough range, right? So this one's 33, there's no 30. So it goes 33 to 13. There's no 15, no 30. And this side's 32 to 15. So you come down here to the width and you spread it out. 1, 2. Normally I would be a little more aggressive and go with these 25 deltas here because a lot of times you want to get close to $2. Right here, you're collecting $1.37. However, this ticker here is kind of low dollar, $35-ish dollars. And it's got real low buying power effect here at only $4.72. So you can go a little more conservative. A lot of times I try to get the pop down here in the left, more like 70%. And then also specifically to this point in time, the election, the national presidential election of 2020 is still wrapping up. I'm just playing it a little more safe, go a little more conservative. So what I'm going to do, it never hurts to be slightly more conservative, right? I mean, in theory, you want to collect like $1.50 to $2, closer to $2 on a lot of these. But again, this is low buying power. So, your return is still going to be pretty good on this. It's only $4.72 buying power right now. So I'm actually going to spread this out again and see what we get. 95, I mean, that's definitely lower than I normally get, but you're still at the 20 delta here and the 19 delta. So that makes sense. Collecting only 95, that's not great. Again, this has real low buying power at only 372. And so part of the strategy is that you sell this, let's say we get filled at 95, you take profits at 50% of your max profit. So your max profit is going to be what you sell this for, which is 95 cents, right? So half of that is what, like 47-ish? So you're going to take profit when $47 has been made from this trade, right? 95 divided by 2. Yeah, 47.5. let's say you get $47. We'll just round that down. 47 divided by 372. Ultimately, that's 12.6% return on capital, because you're tying up $372 and you'll make 47, and which is 12.6%. So that's pretty good. That's like right in the middle. A really good setup you can get, is into the 20s of a return on capital. And then if you need a higher buying power, you can be as low as, 2, 3, 4, 5% return on capital. So it just depends. This one, I would say this is pretty average, like 12-ish% return on capital. Let's, for the sake of argument, let's just open this trade. I have a pretty healthy 5-digit account size, so I'm actually going to go for 2 quantity here. But if you're just starting out, when I just started, I had a lower 5-digit account size, like 10,000, 20,000. I would definitely start with just 1 contract, especially if you're new. There's no rush. You just got to take a couple months and figure out what you're doing and just learn what to do. So just stick with 1 contract. I'm going to go with 2. Funny enough, that changes it, I guess, before I do that. So right here, we spread this out to the 20 and the 19 deltas. This gives you a 69% chance of pop, which is probability of profit. And then the P50 is you have an 86% chance to hit 50% of your max profit. So to hit that $47, we have an 86% chance that that's going to happen. Supposedly. I don't know how accurate this stuff is, but it seems to work out pretty well. Funny enough, when I change this and I up it to 2 contracts, oh, it didn't change that time. Anyways, go to 2 contracts here. You should do 1 if you're just starting out. It totally depends on your risk and your bank. It really depends on your bankroll, because when you do the 2 contracts or more, it's going to change your buying power, right? So now it's at 742, where if I go down to 1, let it refresh, it's at 370. So it takes more buying power the more contracts you do. So again, if you have a smaller account, you want to stick to smaller buying power, because then you can do more trades. I'm going to go 2. And then when you're ready, you come down here. Oh, one more thing before we go to that next step is when you're choosing tickers to trade, you need to make sure they are liquid, which means the bid price and the ask price, basically buy and sell, is close together, right? So this is like a $35 ticker. The closer the better. So this is 48 cents and 51. So that's a 3-cent spread. So that's great. That means it's really liquid, like it's close together. If this was like a 10-cent spread and then this was a 10-cent spread, this spread would be 20 cents on a $35 ticker. That's kind of big. There's really no hard rule here. It's kind of just personal preference, as you're going to find out with a lot of things doing this. But to me, at a $30 ticker, I'm going to want this within, probably 5 cents here and 5 cents here. So this is 3 cents. That's 3 cents. That's perfect, because now we come down here and that's at 93 and 99. We are selling this as a short strangle, right? So we're selling. So that means we want to get a higher price. So the mid is 95. I'm actually going to bump it 1 to 96. I'm going to hit review and send. It's going to tell you what the fees are here, which is $4, because I'm doing 2, right? Tastyworks charges $1 per contract. So I'm doing 2. So it's $1 for this and $1 for that. When you have 2, that's $4. And then you have a little bit of government fees of 57 cents. Your reduced buying power is right here. And if it all looks good, you hit send order. Boom. And up here it's working, right? So now you can either sit here and let it fill and try to get that, 96 cents. Right here you go back to positions. I'm trying to get 96 cents. The mid's 95. If you want to change it, you right click, go to replace order. And I just want to get this filled, so I'm going to go down to 95. And then I'm going to hit review and send. Send again. Working. Go back to positions. It didn't fill. We're just going to do it again. 94. Resend. There we go. And so I got filled. I go back to positions. And here we go. PFE. I got filled at the trade price of 94 cents. I have 2 of these, so my cost is 188 versus if I just had one, this would be the same number. Well, this is times 100, right? Because each options contract controls 100 shares of stock. So this is 2 contracts. So I'm controlling 200 shares of stock. So 94 times 100 is $94. But then times 2 contracts is 188. Let's see, like this one is only 1 contract. So it's $1.38 times 100, which is 138. So my cost was $138. When this price gets to half of 138, that's when I'm going to cash out approximately. You can go sooner. You can try to get more. I wouldn't recommend trying to get much more because your odds of success go down. But certainly if you want to get only 40% of your max profit, go for it. I mean, the sooner you cash out, the higher your probability is of having a successful trade. This one, it's going to be a little tricky here because I did 2 contracts, right? So if you just did 1 contract, this is going to say $94 cost. And so at 94 divided by 2 is $47. So when this PL open, profit loss open, says 94, you're going to want to close that trade and you actually buy it back because remember we sold this, right? So when you close it, you're going to buy it back for a lower price, which is what you want. You want it to be cheaper. You want time decay to work in our favor. Oh, it just dropped down here. I guess I have it sorted based on pop. So right here, right here, PFE has a 70% pop when I open the trade here. Don't be alarmed when you lose money. Right now it says negative $2. No big deal. It's almost always like that when you first open your trade. When you first sell, it's like when you buy a stock. You never buy at the bottom, right? You'll buy a stock, it'll drop down a little bit, but then you hold it for the long term because you think it's a good investment, right? So it's the same deal here. It's going to swing down a few dollars. It could go down $10 or 20 negative. Just don't worry about it. Unless something insane happens, just don't worry about it. Click there, you open this up. You now see you have the 33 put, 41 call. And if you really want to streamline your process, you can come here and you select each one. Then you right click and say close profit percent. It'll be a little bit different if you just have the 1, but I have 2. So I'm just going to go in here and I usually put it at 55 just in case I get some fast move and I'm not around. And then you're going to go to full because I want to do both of these. Again, you could do, if you want to be more conservative, you go down to 40, right? Get 40% of your max profit. And your max profit is going to be 94 cents, right? If you sold one of these, this is going to say 94. Since I sold 2, it says 188. So my max profit is 188, but I'm going to go for half of that, which for me, since I have 2 contracts, right, is 94 cents. For you, if you do 1, it's going to be 47 cents. So I'm going to go here to 55% target. Well, let's just stick it to 50. That'll make easier example. Go to full. So now you come here and you're putting in a closing order. I always put this on GTC, good till canceled. You don't want to do day because then it'll expire. Good to cancel. So here we go. Here's the 47, right? And that's what I want. And that's what you want too, because that's half of your 94, right? So that's your 50% profit. And you just hit review and send. And then you'll see here there's another 54-cent fee, but Tastyworks has no closing cost, or I guess you're buying this back. You just pay the $1 one time. And you'll see that if this comes to fruition, you will increase your buying power by 831. Remember, it cost me like 7 something. So that means you make money. So then you just send order. There you go. Working order now. And you come back here. And now a PFE has this working order, right? So if for some reason you want to change it, again, you just right click and you say replace order. And then you can say, okay, I'm going to sell it sooner at 50 cents, or I'm going to try to get an extra 5 cents. So I'm going to go down to 42, right? And then you hit review and send order, and there you go. And so these strangles, close this up. PFE is a strangle. They take 2 to 3 weeks. So that's it, man. Once you get the system down, you just wait. If you know what you're doing, like me, I literally can do this in 5 minutes. I open roughly 1 trade per day in that 30 to 60 day window. Not all the time. I don't always open a trade every single time, every single day. So now it's just a waiting game. If this goes according to plan, like these, you'll slowly, temporarily the first few days, that might be negative a few dollars, $10, $20 even. But assuming nothing crazy goes against you, where this goes higher than 41, the underlying price goes higher than 41 or lower than 33, everything's turning green and you're making money, right? So this one's getting pretty close here at 114. My cost is, and I'm trying to get half of that. So 114 divided by 2 is 57. I'm at 45. So this one's getting pretty close. Let's see how long I've been in this one. It's been open for 15 days. What I say earlier, I think I said 3 weeks is kind of the average with these strangles, and it's pretty much right on target. I need about $10 more here, and I'll be able to cash out for my 50%, and that's it. So I'm going to post this as a trade review, or yeah, I guess you'd call it a trade review video and of the opening, and I will do a trade alert video for when I close it. So if you want to follow along with me, and the great thing about this is with options, selling options like this, is you don't have to do this even within 10 minutes of me, right? You can, and sometimes the prices can swing more, like in theory right now, I could have sold this for $4 more. Instead of 94, I could have sold it at 98, right? And the great thing with this system is that you can literally watch these. If you work during the day and you can't do this, you could watch this video after work, and then before you go to work, you could launch up Tastyworks, come into PFE, click this, go to trade. You can track down, this will say 41 days, and you can go to these same strikes and buy the same position that I'm in, and it's going to be roughly the same price. Or if there's a big move, maybe you'll get a different position. Just look for the 19 and the 20 delta, and you'll get a slightly different position, maybe for a slightly different dollar amount, right? But it's gonna be relatively close. You'll get the same spread. What is that? 8-point wide spread here, and it's gonna be roughly the same amount, even a day later, or even 2 or 3 days later sometimes. On the flip side, sometimes it does move fast, and you'll get something entirely different. But usually it doesn't move fast, which is why you have to sit in these trades for 3 weeks. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you learned something. Like I said, this is an opening trade video, and I will continue to post my opening trades roughly once per day, not always. I will also do the closing trade videos, and hopefully going forward, they won't be as long as this video. This video ended up being a lot longer than I anticipated. Hopefully I can keep them under 10 minutes. Once I get going, I don't know. Hopefully I can streamline it even to 5 minutes. I really don't want to make long videos. So this one took a little bit longer because it was kind of an intro to everything. So once I get going here, I'm definitely not going to dive in as deep as I did with everything. The DTE window and the strike price and all that stuff. I'm just going to basically go in here, show you what I did, be in and out, 5, hopefully 10 minutes max. Hopefully it's just kind of quick and easy videos, and you can follow along with how I trade if you want and see how I do. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks again. See you later.